In this video, I shall explain intermediate value theorem. It states that if a function f is continuous on the closed interval a comma b, and if f of a is less than k less than f of b, then there exists at least one c in open interval a comma b such that f of c is equal to k. That is the statement of intermediate value theorem. Let us understand this statement. We know that whenever we are given that f is a continuous function on a closed interval, it is implied that f is a function of single variable, and we know that corresponding to every function of single variable there exists a curve in the xy plane. And whenever we are given that f is a continuous function on the closed interval a comma b, it is clear that there will not be any break in the corresponding curve of the function f corresponding to the region closed interval a comma b. Okay, that is the first condition to be fulfilled by the function f. And then the second one is that if k is a value lying in between f of a and f of b, if k is a value lying in between f of a and f of b, then it states or confirms that there exists at least one c in open interval a comma b at which the functional value is equal to k, at which the functional value is equal to k, that is f of c is equal to k. That's what intermediate value theorem states or confirms. There exists at least one such c in between a and b in open interval a comma b at which the functional value is k. So the two conditions to be fulfilled by f are that the first one is it should be a continuous function on closed interval a comma b, and that the second one is that k should be a value lying in between f of a and f of b. Whenever those two conditions are fulfilled by k, by the function f, then it confirms that, the theorem confirms that f attains any value lying in between, or f attains that particular k value lying in between f a and f b in open interval a comma b. Attains means the functional value will be equal to k for at least once in open interval a comma b. In case of some functions, it may attain the functional value, the k value, more than one c also. Look at this example, look at this figure. In this case, the function, the curve corresponding to the function f is like this, and whenever k value is considered in between f of a and f of b, in particular at this place, corresponding to this k value, there exists three c values, namely c1, c2 and c3. At these three c values, f values will be equal to f of c1, f of c2, f of c3 will be equal to k. So the theorem confirms that there exists at least one such c. In some cases there may exist more than one c even, at which the functional values are equal to the k value. Means every intermediate value between the functional values at the ends of the interval will be attained by the function f, in open interval a comma b for at least once. That is the statement or confirmation by intermediate value theorem. Now let me take you to the particular case of intermediate value theorem. This is the particular case. If a function f is continuous on the closed interval a comma b, and if f of a and f of b have opposite signs, that means the functional values at the ends of the interval have opposite signs, then there exists at least one c in open interval a comma b such that f of c is equal to 0. It is nothing but a particular case of intermediate value theorem. Here we considering f of a and f of b with opposite signs, and hence whenever they are with opposite signs, trivially 0 lies in between these two. And if you consider in place of k, in the case of the general theorem, if you consider 0 in place of k, then this particular case arises. F of c will be equal to 0 for at least one c in open interval a comma b. Whenever this happens, you can say that there exists at least one root of the equation f of x is equal to 0 lying in the interval a comma b, open interval a comma b. So that is the particular case of intermediate value theorem. Look at the figures 1 and 2. Here In the case of the first figure, the curve corresponding to the function, if the curve corresponding to the function is like this, then in both the figures we are considering f of a as a negative value and f of b as a positive value, whereas in the case of the first figure we considered the curve corresponding to the function like this, and in the case of the second figure the curve corresponding to the function is considered like this, right? In the case of the first function, whenever the function is continuous in the interval a comma b, and whenever fa and fb are with opposite signs, in particular fa is negative and fb is positive, it has to cross whenever it is continuous and whenever the functional values at the ends are with opposite signs, it has to cross, the curve has to cross the x-axis for at least once, and that particular point is nothing but the c value at which the functional value is equal to 0. In the case of the second figure, here also we are considering fa and fb with opposite signs, in particular fa as a negative and fb as a positive, but the curve shape is like this and it crosses by moving from the negative to the positive. It is crossing the x-axis for 3 times, so contributing 3 such c values. Here you are having let this one be c1 and let this one be c2 and let this point be c3. At these 3 points c1, c2 and c3, f of functional values functional values are the same, which is equal to 0. So in this case there exists one such c in open interval a comma b at which f of c is equal to 0. In the case of the second figure, there exists such c values 3 in number at which the functional values are equal to 0. So as by the particular case of intermediate value theorem, we can always confirm that whenever you have a function f which is continuous in closed interval a comma b, and whenever the functional values at the ends of the interval are with opposite signs, you can always confirm that there exists at least one such c in between a and b, that is in the open interval a comma b, at which the functional value is equal to 0. Okay. Whenever f of c is 0, we can simply say that fx equal to 0 equation is having a root c in open interval a comma b. So with the help of intermediate value theorem, we can always say that there exists at least one root of the equation fx equal to 0 lying in between a and b or in open interval a comma b, whenever f is continuous on closed interval a comma b and f of a and f of b are of opposite signs. This particular case is having immense importance while doing problems on finding roots of equations in one variable, Look at these two figures. In these two figures, figure 3 and figure 4, we considering f is a continuous function once again, f as a continuous function once again, and here also fa and fb are considered with opposite signs, but in particular here fa is considered as a positive one and fb is considered as a negative one, and whenever they have opposite signs and f is continuous, once again the curve has to cross the x-axis for at least once. Once again those points at which the curve crosses the x-axis provides the c values at which the functional values are equal to 0. So that is all about the particular case of intermediate value theorem, which is useful while solving or finding roots of functions, roots of equations of a single variable. Thank you.